everyone and welcome back to my channel. The last page I did in my napkin journal was this one, which I think is the centre of the signature. I think so. But every time I look at my book, my journal, I'm looking at this and I've got a blank page here which I'm not really liking. So I'm thinking I want to cover this and do something with this. This is what it's next to. So I'm going to pick this napkin here because I think the colours would go quite well together. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. The last napkin page I did was this one, which I think is the centre of this signature here. But when it's sitting in my journal like that, we've got a blank page here, and I thought, no, I'm going to sort that out because it doesn't, it doesn't flow very well. So this is the page before, and I thought I would use this napkin here because it's kind of, the colours are not that dissimilar, and I think it'll go quite nicely. These are pears. Let's just remove that. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to use, I'm just going to cover that, I think, with the napkin for ease. But I do need to separate these pages. Let's see what we can do, see if it separates easily. There we go. I don't know how many ply, it looks like just 2 ply here. That looks like a nice piece that we could use for collage or background, so I shall keep that. Right, and now we have this page here. So now I thought I had got somewhere near here a piece of, I do, bear with me. There we go. Piece of paper there just to protect what's going on there. A little bit close. Let's move up a bit so you can see a bit more what we're doing. Right, so I'm just going to use a Pritt stick. I'm going to go right up to the bend in the book, in the page, and just cover the whole page. With Pritt stick. And then I'm going to be quite wasteful, and because I don't want the compostable bit, I'm just going to use a bit like that, I think, and I'm going to just smooth it on. I've got a dry baby wipe here that I'm just going to use rather than my fingers. I don't mind the odd crease, we're going to get them. It's a napkin, and that's the kind of the beauty of this book, because all the pieces feel sort of velvety. Right, let's put that right to the edge, push it down gently. And then I will trim around that, I think. Let's just cut this bit off before we start, so I can reuse that in another project. I'm going to put that straight into my collage box. There we go. Right, let's cut around. That's all done apart from this end here, which we will cut as close to the spine as we can. Right, I'll keep that bit, but I'm going to throw those little bits away. Now, oh, it's a little bit messy there where I've cut it. Let me just double check. It's hard to get the scissors in, I think. Let's just try and neaten it up a little bit. Might just, oh, I'll tell you what we could use. Where's my, one of my little glues? There we go. This has just got a little bit of ordinary PVA in it. I'm just going to, where this little bit of napkin is dithering around a bit, too hard to cut but not really wanted, I'm just going to smooth it around on there. Hopefully that will be sufficient to hold it in place. Right, let's see what we've got going on here. Not bad. Just want to be careful that to get this to stick, but I don't want it to rip, obviously. That's lacking a little bit, so a little bit of glue. I'll squeeze a little bit of PVA in there as well. Hopefully that'll sort that out. Now I'm thinking, could I cut out some pear shapes, colour them and just collage them, or you know, have them raised a little bit on there. Let's have a think. First of all, we're going to need some card. Have I got any scrap card? Let me come back with some card. Okay, I found myself some mixed media paper. I decided to use that, and I've cut myself a pear template, literally from a piece of packaging, folded, just made a pear shape. And if I could find my pencil, I would draw around it. So I'm going to have, I don't know how many, I shall probably only need 3, but if I can make more, I will do more, because I might make a mistake. It's quite probable. Or one might look better than another. So I'll just do an extra pair. Let's do that one. I think I might not even, I don't know how many I'll use, but if in the absence of not knowing, I'll do spare. Let's just do 4. Right, I'll keep my pear in case I need it. We'll have some with stalks, something like that, and maybe a leaf as well. Let's have another one with a stalk and a leaf sort of over this way, and maybe we'll just have a couple with stalks. Maybe this one can have a bendy stalk, something like that. Now I've also taken some time to mix some colour. I want it to kind of matchish the pears that we've got here, and they are actually quite yellow rather than green. So I have mixed some yellow ochre and some green. I'm hoping that that's about the right colour. And I'm not going to worry too much about this. I'm going to draw around them and sort of stylise them, and I'm going to cut them out. So, you know, not too fussed about these. Let's just get some colour down. Let's hope they're similar. They're fairly similar. I don't think they clash, put it that way. going to add a little bit of green, just so they don't look too flat. And have I got a smaller brush? I think I do. I'm going to, let's pick a green, that one. That's a bit, not what I was expecting. Let's try that one. That looks a nice colour. Right, I might turn this round. Otherwise I know I'm going to stick my hand in it. That's too much paint on my brush. That could make an effect, maybe. We'll see. If I don't like it, I'll mop it up. Right, let's see what we can do. I'm not going to, let's not be fussy about this. Right, I need to let that dry, and then I've got a bit of an idea for adding a little bit of texture to that. Right, now if we look at the napkin and look at these pears, they've got a kind of a speckledy, darker green bit on them. So I'm wondering if I use, I've got a bit of like a kitchen sponge that I have cut up. I've used that for painting my jelly plate. But if I use this scratchy bit here, I'm wondering what kind of effect. And I'm using just an ink pad. I really am looking for a piece of scrap paper that I can, let's try. I just want to see what it, whether or not it works before I plonk it on my pears. Something like that I think would be fine. So the pears have got, let me just make that not too big, let's just go for a smaller area. We can always build it up. And they're not all on the same side, so we'll try and put some like that. Being a bit braver now, I'm pushing it down a bit more, so I might go back and put some more on here. Whoops, a bit too brave. There, something like that. Hopefully they're not too awful. Now I think, what colour is that? That is a very dark green. I'm wondering, which is my least favourite pear? I don't know, I don't hate any of them. Let's go for one of these two. This one. I'm just wondering what it looks like if I go around it in a green pen. Or whether or not I should just leave them as they are with their pencil mark on them. If I'd thought about this, I could have done a smaller, thinner, not less dark pencil. Right, now they've got a kind of spiky bit here. That's what, but how I'm going to cut that out, I don't know. So what I might, I don't know. What do we think? Go round it and cut around it, or just cut round it as it is? Let's look at the page. The thing is, these don't have an outline, but if I don't put an outline, they might just blend in. I am going to outline them. I've decided. Executive decision. They don't have to be the same anyway, do they? And I'm going to put this spike a bit on, and if I don't like it, and I don't like how it's cut out, then I will chop it off. Oops, it's a bit of a lumpy pear there. Let's see what we can do with that. Mind you, we did say we only needed probably 3 maximum, and we may not even use those. Something like that. Right, next job is me with a pair of scissors. I will save you the pain. Right, that wasn't too painful. You know, my cutting out's not great. I've cut as close to the line as I can. I don't like the white edges, so I am just going to go around with a little distressing, this is Lucky Clover, I think, just to get rid of the white edges as best I can. I'm not going to be too fussy, but I just think it will help. Also, it gives the pear a little bit more of a three-dimensional look rather than be careful not to rip the leaves off. I have done all 4. Also, it's helped with this bit here where I've cut out those bits, the bottom of the pear, and I didn't like it against the white, but I've just made it green and now it's not so glaring. Right, let's have a look and see what we can do with these fellows. Pop them on here. There's the page at the moment. I will go round the outside with something. I don't really know what to do with them. Just to pop them on, and I may, like, I don't think I want 4 of them. Let's remove one. I don't want to pop them up. I might just do that. Right, what can I pop them up with? Let's get some more, a bit more packaging here. Let's rip a bit of that off. See if we can get some pear shapes out of that. Right, I'll use this pear here. I've lost my pear template already. Don't know where that's gone. We'll use this pear here for now. I'm just going to draw around it. I'm not going to bother with the stalk or the tail, or whatever you call that bit on a pear. Let's see how many we can get. We want 3. That will do, and there's the bit that I played with. That will do fine as well. I think it's all from the same box. Right, now I'm going to cut those out, but I'm going to cut... Oh, that's got a shiny bit. Does that matter? Don't think it will. Just need to see where I'm cutting to. Right, so I'm just going to cut inside the line in a kind of triangle shape. I'm not going to be fussy, it doesn't matter. It's just to give it a little bit of dimension off the page. There's one. And there's the other. Another. And the third one. Just don't want it to be visible, but I want it just to help pop the pear off the page a little bit. Right, I've got 3 of those. I'm going to put some Yoo-hoo on those, I think. It doesn't really matter what you use. Just make sure that fits on. Yeah. It's just that this card that I'm using, this packaging, has got a shiny back. I don't think the Pritt stick will stick that. Pop you on there. And pop you on there. Right, I've got 3 pairs. I think I might, while those are just drying for a second, I'm slightly worried about that shiny surface. Let's move my water out the way. Let's go around the outside of this page. But let us look at the colour options. I don't have a lot. That does not look like a good... maybe gelato might be the best thing. I haven't really got an ink, the right kind of colour. Let me get some gelatos. Right, not done brilliantly with that either, but where's my bit of paper? There we go. This is a bit like that colour there. It's not as dark as I'd hoped, but it is what it is. It's what I've got. So we're going to have to go with it. I probably could have put something, I don't know if you can mix them. I'll put a bit of black on it, but I don't want to ruin what we've done. Admittedly, that's not, we haven't done a lot. Right, let's just see. Come down there a little bit. Because I'm not going to see that round the bend there. A bit more there. Whoops. In the corner. Let's see what we can do with that. Oh, I've not got any water on my finger. I'm just using my finger as it is for now. I figured if I added water I might ruin the napkin. There's a tiny bit of napkin there that I could do with. Sticking down. Whoops. And I just completely missed with the glue. That should help it. Yeah, it's a little bit brighter than I wanted. I mean, do I go in with some black? What would that do? Hang on. Very slightly worried about ruining this, so just go, oh, that is a little bit better than it was, she says. Just going at the very edge and then blending it over into what I've done. Like that. Even if it just goes over some of it and leaves a hint, that's better, I think. Although it is a little bit dark now, but I think not quite so bright and in your face. Prefer that. Right, I've lost my lid. Let's have a look at these things, see where we're going with these. I think I'm just going to stick them on. So, again with the Yoo-hoo. And then the last one. There. I think I'm going to call that done. I don't think I'm going to add anything else to that. it was supposed to be just a simple page so that we didn't have, can remove that, so we didn't have a blank page anymore, so I'm quite happy with that. Looks like that napkin could do with a little bit of a sticking down. Let's see. Didn't have this glue back then, but it's mighty handy with its little needle tip. There. Right, I'm calling that done. That's my pears page. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.